From the outside, the modern world looks very simple. People talk, laugh, share things, take photos. Everything flows. Everyone is rushing somewhere. Everyone wears the same "I'm fine" mask. And the strange thing is, no one questions it. It's as if life is a storefront whose lights never turn off. Always bright, always lively, always normal. But inside that crowd, there is someone. Their eyes constantly scan the room. Even when they smile, they don't fully smile. Before they speak, it's as if they rehearse the sentence in their head several times. They seem present, and yet somehow absent at the same time. People notice it. They're so tense, they say, so obsessive. They exaggerate everything. Maybe you know that person. Maybe it's the quiet one at work. Maybe it's someone who looks uneasy even at a crowded dinner table. Or maybe that person is you. And naturally, people ask the same question. Why can't they relax? Why, while everyone else moves forward, do they seem to carry an invisible weight inside them? Because from the outside, it looks like weakness, as if they're too sensitive, as if they can't handle life. But no, it's not that simple. This is not overreacting. This is an ancient alarm system built for survival, constantly ringing inside the modern world. A person experiencing anxiety is not someone searching for danger. They are someone who senses danger in advance. Even when nothing has happened yet, the body has already entered survival mode. People call it panic. But most of the time, it isn't panic. It's vigilance. It is the mind standing guard like a watchman who never sleeps. And the most painful part is this. That watchman no longer remembers what they are protecting. They have only learned how to stay alert. Anxiety is often not fear. Fear is concrete. It has a target. You fear a dog. You fear an accident. But anxiety is more unclear. It is like fog. You don't know where it comes from, but it fills your lungs. In psychology, there is a concept close to this: hypervigilance, a state of being overly alert. This is common in people who have experienced trauma. The body no longer trusts the word relax. Because in the past, something may have happened at the exact moment they felt safe. A loss, a rupture, a humiliation, or simply that childhood feeling, waiting as if something could happen at any second. And the mind says, I will never be unprepared again. But this is exhausting. Sometimes a person even asks themselves, what am I waiting for? That is why the thoughts of an anxious person never stop. Because anxiety is like a browser tab that never closes. It stays open. It keeps loading. It constantly whispers, what if? And then a second mechanism appears, catastrophizing. The mind takes a small possibility and turns it into the worst-case scenario. A message arrives late. They're definitely angry at me. Someone gives a short reply. It's over. Your heart starts racing. I'm about to faint. From the outside, it may look exaggerated. But for the person living inside it, it feels like real disaster. Because the body believes the story the mind is telling. The heart speeds up. The stomach tightens. The throat locks. As if the body is saying, the danger is real, be ready. And the most exhausting part is this: there is nowhere to run. Because the danger is not outside, it is inside. People think anxiety is just worry. But anxiety is often a state of overstimulation. The nervous system is running at high voltage all the time. That is why crowds are exhausting. That is why even small decisions feel heavy. Because an anxious person lives life in two layers: the outer world and the inner war. And most people don't even see that war. Maybe that's why anxious people often seem cold. But they aren't cold. They simply have too much happening inside to give warmth outward. Sometimes the roots of this go back to childhood. Some people learned very early that home is not safe. Making mistakes is not safe. Even relaxing is risky. Maybe they were constantly criticized. Maybe their emotions were dismissed. Maybe no one truly listened to them. And the child's mind says, "So this is what the world is. So I have to be prepared." And that continues into adulthood. That is why anxious people often try hardest to look fine. They look strong, controlled, organized, because losing control in their mind means catastrophe. That is why they seem obsessed with details. But they are not obsessing, they are surviving through details. And yes, there is a dark side to this. Anxiety isolates people. Getting close to others becomes difficult, because the person thinks, if they see the real me, they won't want me. So they smile. They say, "I'm fine." And when everyone leaves, when they are finally alone, the body begins to speak. But there is something very important here. This is not only a curse, it is also a skill. Because anxious people often have extraordinary observational ability. They sense the energy in a room. They notice tiny changes in facial expressions. They hear what is not being said. Because life forced them to. In a world where everyone moves quickly across the surface, the anxious person stops. And because they stop, they see. They see falseness. They see masks. They see reality. And maybe that is why they can feel lonely even in a crowd. Because the reality they see is not the reality everyone wants to see. But here lies a philosophical truth. Some people were not made to live comfortably. Some people were made to live awake. And being awake sometimes hurts. Anxiety is the mind telling you there is danger. But sometimes that danger does not belong to today. Sometimes it is the shadow of the past. And while you fight that shadow, you blame yourself. But you are not guilty. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not too much. You are simply someone who had to protect themselves for a long time. And perhaps the greatest transformation of your life is hidden in this sentence. This is not an escape. This is a return home. Because what an anxious person needs is not more courage, but more safety, more understanding, more softness toward themselves. And if you are listening to this right now, you have probably been carrying something inside you for years. Maybe no one saw it. Maybe no one understood it. Maybe even you grew tired of yourself. And maybe the hardest part was this. Even when you tried to explain, they said, "You're exaggerating." But know this is not your fault. This is your system working too hard. And every overworked system eventually needs rest. Maybe your mind feels like a battlefield, but it can also become a temple. Because depth often comes with pain. And in the end, one truth remains. The world is full of people who live on the surface. But you are one of the rare ones who can breathe in depth. Maybe it exhausts you. Maybe it isolates you. But it also makes you real. Because anyone can make noise. But not everyone can carry themselves in silence. You can. And maybe what you call anxiety is not just fear, but a message life is sending you. You are still alive. You still feel. You are still awake. And in the sedated crowd of the modern world, that is not weakness. That is a rare gift.